she went through a couple iterations and we kind of landed on this. So she had sort of more of a story, and you can see, she's this way because she's not who she necessarily wants to be. And she wants to be a good teacher. And she's just sort of only knows this one way of doing things.
How you doing today, Cecily?
Hi, Grant. I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm very excited to talk about this movie. It is such a sweet, heartwarming film from start to finish. Now, of course, you have your own ties to SNL, as a lot of people behind the camera did on this one. You have Schmigadoon, where you got to explore some of your musical expertise as well. Did they just hand this movie to you on was it made for you already coming into this one?
Sure, I'd like to think so. I felt I was very lucky. I thought I was just kind of doing the reading, and it was exciting for me to get to do anything with Sandler and Smigel. So then, luckily, somehow they liked what I did at that table reading, and I got to do the project. And I've learned about kind of how an animated movie is made during this couple years with them. And I agree. I mean, I thought it was so sweet and so funny, and just had such a big heart. So of course I immediately wanted to be a part of it.
Now, what is it like getting to the heart of an animated character, especially in one like this, where for much of the movie we have a hard time connecting with her, but then we start to learn more about her and try and sympathize with her? What is that like from your perspective?
Well, I think a lot of that was writing. They did that with the writing, sort of letting her have a bit more of an arc. I think she went through a couple iterations and we kind of landed on this. So she had sort of more of a story, and you can see, she's this way because she's not who she necessarily wants to be. And she wants to be a good teacher, and she's just sort of only knows this one way of doing things. And so I thought it was nice. They said there's no bad guys in this movie, maybe the alligators, but they're just alligators. They're just doing what they do.
They're just living their lives. It's okay.
Yes.
What was it like finding her voice then, knowing the arc that she was going to have and knowing that she was going to go from the strict substitute to this, very kind, thoughtful person?
Yeah. So I think we started it. She's much harsher, and sort of kind of like a 1950s sort of, she's old school, really, is, I guess, the easiest way to say that. And then as we went along, we just tried to soften her up on a couple lines. And then, and they, in rewrites and things, they wrote a couple softer lines. And even in the song, she gets to croon a little.
I love that you got to have that. What was it like then getting to, what was it like in the recording process, seeing some of the drawings or the animatics as you're putting to the voice to them in comparison to being live action, embodying these people?
It's funny because it's some things you're informing by the voiceover that you've done. And then, the second time you go in, the drawing is informing what you're doing. So it's a really interesting process in that way, like, oh, okay, that's what she looks like. Well, then maybe, especially when it just comes to just the making of sounds, just how does she sound running? How does she sound giggling? So it was, that was all really fun to figure out with them.
Well, I see I am out of time, unfortunately, so I will have to let you go. But Cecily, thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, I truly love this movie and I cannot wait to spread the word about it.
Oh, thanks so much. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Have a good rest of your weekend.